Hello, 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 everyone. Hello. Welcome to Tea Time with Tracey. I'm so excited, so glad that you're here with me on today. How's everyone? How's everyone? Come on in, come on in. I want to play my jingle, but I'm having difficulties with getting the system up so that I can play it for you. So it looks like I'm gonna have to do it the old-fashioned way. It's tea time with Tracey. Tea time with Tracey. Come on in, come on in. Come on in, come on in. It's tea time with Tracey. Tea time with Tracey. Come on in, come on in. Come on in, come on in, come on in, everyone. I'm so glad that you're here with me. Welcome to Tea Time with Tracey. I'm super duper excited and glad to see you all. Yes, come on, give me your hearts. Hello, Francis. You're one of the first ones here. Good to see you. Well, I have other viewers there, but I need you all to leave your comments. Please leave your comments. That way I get to see that you're here online. But I'm excited. Thank you. It is Labor Day. I'm hoping everyone is enjoying themselves. But it's tea time with Tracey. Come on in. Come on in. Tell your friends. Tell your family. Oh, we got a good discussion going on today, and you don't want to miss it. So come on in, everyone. It's tea time with Tracey. Tea time with Tracey. Come on in, come on in, come on in, come on in. It's tea time with Tracey. Tea time with Tracey. Come on in, come on in. Come on in, come on in. Hey, there go my number one fan. My sister's in the house. Good to see you, sissy. Good to see you. Oh my goodness. Do I have a new person? Shalonda Hampton. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to Tea Time with Tracey. I'm so glad to see you. Let me acknowledge you too, Francis. Thank you for coming in. And of course, my number one fan, my sister Cynthia. Oh, you in Atlantic City? Well, all right. And you took the time to hang out with me today. I'm so excited to have you. We have an awesome topic going on tonight, and I need everyone's participation. But before I do that, for all of you newcomers that are coming on, let me tell you what Tea Time with Tracey is all about. Tea Time with Tracey is where we come together to encourage each other, to admire each other, and to assist each other. We have discussions on how we go about our relationships, building unbreakable bonds, creating bonds that are unbreakable. And the way to do that is that we have these discussions and we talk and we share with one another and we help each other along the way. Why? Because we are better together. We are better together. There is an enemy after our soul, and he doesn't like relationships. And what he does, he causes chaos and havoc, so that the people are not able to interact and just do as the Lord had instructed us to do when it comes down to each other. We are helpers of one another. And we are friends and we are family and we want to build our relationships. So that's what we do. So I'm going to tell you, grab your tea, grab your cup of ice or whatever it is you want to do and sit down. Sit down. Sit down with us. Sit down with us and come on in. My volume is low. Okay. I have my viewers. Can you all hear me? Am I sounding low? Please give me your comments. Let me know if I'm sounding really low. Hey, my administrator is on. Am I sounding low? Am I sounding low? Please let me know if I'm sounding low. How's the volume out there? I have my volume on high. Oh, you hear me fine? Awesome. That's good. That's good. Okay, so today's topic, we're dealing with friends. Oh, Shalonda, you said you like that. Hey, everyone, please welcome Shalonda Hampton. She is one of our new tea timers. So I am glad that you're here with us. Awesome. Please welcome her. Hello, cousin Keisha. Good to see you. I'm glad to see all of you. Again, please, I need you all to do me the greatest favor. and that is I need you all to share. Share on your page, share in Messenger, reach out to the people because there's so many people that I normally contact, but because I'm having difficulties with my phone, I have to get another iPhone. I have to upgrade. But however, I need you all to share on your pages so that I'll be able to have everyone come in and enjoy it. But I need you all to acknowledge. But I need your comments. Everyone that comes on, please leave a comment so I know that you're here and I can attest to that. So what I like to do at the onset of my shows is that I like to acknowledge the people that are here. If you take the time to view me, and you take the time to show up, then I can take the time to acknowledge it. But before I do that again, I want to bring out the reason behind Tea Time with Tracey. Here is my book. If you haven't received a copy, please get your copy. And if you have received a copy, there's nothing wrong in getting another one and maybe perhaps bless someone with it. It is An Unbreakable Bond, the ultimate mother and daughter relationship. This is the book that I've written over about a year ago, and it has been such a blessing to so many. And because of it, my niece, one of my administrators, Montrese Brewster, I call her Pumpkin, so you may hear me say that a lot. She said, Auntie, we're always talking, we always, having our conversations, me, you, and my daughter, and my daughter. And she's like, Auntie, why don't you do your tea time? Why don't you sit with go on live and talk to the people? I'm sure they want to hear from you. And so, and here we are, a year and some months later, and it has been growing. The view has been growing, and you all have been a great blessing. But let's get into the topic. So the topic on tonight is part 2 of last week. It's called It's About Your Friend. What happened was last week I had a dear friend of mine, my dearest friend, Susan Green, of over 20 some odd years. I believe we're going into the 30th year. She and I have been friends, and we always talk about different things. I'm going to bring her on shortly. She's in the back office. She's waiting, anticipating to come on, and I'm going to bring her in, and we're just going to do like we do here. What we do here with Tea Time with Tracey, as you all know, your comments are important here. We welcome everyone's comment. Your comment matter here. Your comments matter here. We welcome all comments, men and women. Your opinions matter here. We will do our best to post and quote it during the discussion. So that's how important you are to us, that what you have to say is important, and we want to hear from you. So we want everyone to remember that. So the tea topic, the hot topic with my special guest, Susan Green, it's about your friend. So I want you all to get your hands together, give some hearts, give some thumbs up. I am going to bring her on now out of the back office, and we're going to take this topic to another level. Okay, so welcome my dearest friend, Susan Green. Hello, Susan. I can't hear you. You were clear earlier. You were on with me earlier. What did you do? I told you, please do not touch anything. I cannot hear you. Susan, what did you touch? Susan, I can't hear you. You can hear me, but I can't hear you. You're not on mute. You're on. You were on earlier. What did you touch? You touched something.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
The For some reason the computer just went mute.
Okay. All right. Well,
Hello everyone. How y'all doing? Happy holiday?
Labor Day. Girl. I am so glad you are here with me on today, Susan Green. We was such, I think we had over 500 views. I received,
Really?
yes,
Wow.
I received over, I think 20 to 25 inboxes. Yes, I
Wow.
received a couple of calls. I did another, what you
Is that
call
called, wait, wait, hold up. Is that called for the network?
I sure hope so, right? And what happened is I received, I did a watch party. And so I showed it again. And I had quite a bit of
Oh,
people asking me, they were leaving their comments. They wanted their comments to be put up here. And I'm like, oh my goodness, how am I going to do this? It's like, this is a recording. So I said, listen, we have a part two. Come on to part two, and we can talk about it then. So I hope
oh,
that the
great.
young lady shows up here. But I just hope she shows up. I don't know how to get her there, but I just hope that she got to see that I'm coming on, that we're on now. But anyway, Susan, let us finish this conversation about your friend. Now, we were talking last week, and we were saying that we believe, that you can be friends with your ex. You're friends with your ex. But it's not just about being friends with your ex, being friends with the opposite sex, and not and
Yes.
a platonic, just having a real true friendship. And a lot of times what happens is that we have friendships and then we go into new relationships, or we have marriages or whatever. And a lot of times people were stating that if your new partner or your spouse do not agree with you remaining friends with this person, should you? And then, of course, we both were saying, we were in agreement that, okay, if our partners, so you might want to back up just a little bit, your partners you don't mind. What would you do if you've been friends with someone for many years, and then your spouse decide to tell you, I don't think that you should be their friend, or they don't want you around them, or they're not in agreement with it? What are you to do?
Well, the first thing I would have to do is ask why. It must be a valid reason why. Because, friends last forever. Relationships between man and woman may or may not actually last. That's
Oh,
what I would do. I would ask why. What is the reason why you do not want my friend in my life? Because I feel like this, um, a friend is someone who teaches you how to grow and actually how to be with someone else. You
okay.
know what I'm saying? So this person has been there. They have taught me how, somewhat how to be the person that I am. And now you're new in my life, a year or two or whatever, because most of the time this is going to happen within the first, I guess, 1 to 5 years. And then you decide this person cannot be there any longer. Why? What happened?
I think
That's what I would ask.
one of the things I think because last week, I mean, I'm in agreement to there were a lot of comments that were made last week that I was in agreement with, and then there were some that I was kind of like not too sure about. But I understood where a lot of them were
Mm-hmm.
coming from, especially those who were married, and they're more or less feel um, like, I'm not going to let my friendship ruin my marriage. Under no circumstances should you do that. But the thing is
Well,
that
of course. Mm-hmm.
but the thing is that my whole thing was, um, most of the time, I believe, whenever you find that um, the husband, if it says a husband or the wife, if they have an issue with your friend, most of the time is because someone had said something, I think, of a negative discourse. And therefore, that person felt like this is not a good person to be in your life, or in our life, or in our circle. But Montrese is saying something. I think I want to put that up, what she said, real quick. She says, a friend understands that now your covenant is with your partner. You'll be going through life with uh, with with your partner, right? And she said, you make this decision for a husband, not a boyfriend. My opinion. Okay, now that's something different. That's exactly, I was getting ready to go there. In terms of when it comes to your husband, and your husband make that point, which is Wanza was saying, "Oh my God, Wanza is here, awesome." Yes, your husband. Yeah, I believe you should say, "Hey, you know."
I can't even hear you. You went.
So Wanza said,
Can
"So
you
you
hear
don't
me?
think you're a man?" I can hear you. Can you hear me now? Can you hear us? Can you hear us, Susan? Can you see the comments? Can you see the comments? Are you reading the comments? You might. Is it your earpiece? Can you hear me?
Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you. Do you see the comments?
No, I can't.
I'm putting the comments on the screen. It's there. Are you up on it? Are you on Facebook? You're not on Facebook. I need you to go on Facebook so you can read the
Hold on. Let me
comments.
put my glasses on. Let me see.
Oh my goodness. All right. I'm trying to, I know that you all can hear me. I'm trying to make sure that I'm in tune with Susan because, um,
Hmm. Okay. Okay. I see Wanda's comment. I can't
yeah.
hear you guys, but I can see the comments.
Okay. So maybe you need to take your headphones off. Try taking your headphones off. Maybe it's your headphones because there's something. They're coming in with some really good stuff, and I want to jump onto it. So you're gonna have to try to find your way, okay? But we can hear you, okay? Okay, so Wanza says, so you don't think your romantic relationship can last forever? I know marriages can break up, but that's not the intent going in. That's to you, Susan.
Okay.
Um,
Okay. No, I'm not saying that your romantic relationship may or may not last forever. But what I am saying is when a person comes into the relationship, they need to get all of that stuff, that stuff straight. Whether you agree about him or her having, exes or best friends involved in your relationship.
okay, so they were saying check your Bluetooth. Montrese says, I think if we put as much value on marriage as we do with friendships, the divorce rates wouldn't be so high. And again, she said her opinion. Oh, yeah, wanted to take your earpiece out. Um, it's true. The thing about friendship, though, I think what happened with friendship is that friendship actually is different than what how we used to see it years ago. Friendship is now almost like family connection. You become connect. Your friendships are your chosen family. It's become like that, especially when you have friendship that has been lasting for over the years and throughout the time. And so it's just like when someone that you've been friends with for say 20 and 30 years, and then you have this spouse out of nowhere telling you that they no longer you can no longer be associated with them. You almost take it as if you're telling me I can't be with my family. It's almost like that, you know? So there's a delay in what you're getting. So
Right, exactly.
you
I
might want
agree
to
with you, Tracy. That's right.
lower it too, because I can hear it. So we might want to think on that note. And so, but um, I'm not under no circumstances are we saying that your friendship should override your marriage. Of course not. Your marriage is first. Your marriage is your priority. But we must really understand that friendship has a major role in our lives, and they're a major role for us. Ones that left for some people have so much influence over people. It begins to show in the marriage. I believe you become like who you closely associate with. Then before you know it, you're like this person. that's good. What we say, association, birds of a feather flock together. So that's why you choose your friends wisely. Everybody that you in contact with isn't a friend, and it all depends on what do you determine what your friend looks like. You determine what's a friend. Wanda says, if your future spouse doesn't see the value in your friends, family, then perhaps that's not the one for you. Boom. That is absolutely key right there. Just like we choose our friends, we also choose our spouse. We choose our Susan is faded out. We choose our spouse. We choose our mate. And so, Wanda, would you be willing to come on as well? Would you be willing to come on? Listen, I tell you what, I'm gonna do something different tonight because I love the comments that I am seeing. Um, I'm going to try something different. I am willing to bring others in as well, just so we can see you take your stand and hear from you, and the people can see you. If you're interested, just let me know. Say yes, send me the link, and I will send it to you, and you're able to come on. Francis says, um, there's boundaries between marriage and friendship. Oh, okay. Wanda says she's not. uh, Francis said they're bound. Wanda said there was a friend that I had for years, fiance at the time, otherwise, didn't like her. He was right. He was right. He was right. Okay. Okay. Wow. Wanda, we can't hear you, Susan, but I know you're talking. I can't hear you. Come on, Susan. What's going on? Wow.
The mic went off. The mic keeps going off for some
Okay.
reason. Can you hear me
Okay.
now?
Yeah. Did you see what Wanda wrote?
Yes, I see that. She said there was a dear friend that she had for years, but the fiance didn't like her, and he was right. How was he right? Was she not a good quality friend?
Evidently, the friendship didn't level up. But her husband, before he was her husband, knew that this may have been your friend for years, but she wasn't on the up and up with her. And sometimes that's
Sometimes you
another
could be
thing,
right about that. Right, right.
like
That
because
can sometimes
sometimes
happen where you might not see it and the other person does see that.
right.
But not that usually doesn't happen a lot of times, but I mean it can happen, yes. Sometimes the one can be right and the other one can be wrong, yes. But what happens if the friend is a quality friend? Now, say like me and Tracy, or me and one of my best friends who's a guy, and this person has been there for me all for seems like forever because they're like family. My new guy, fiance, whatever, comes along and just says, I don't like her or I don't like him. I should just drop that person just because that person didn't take the chance to get to know them, first of all. Just outright, I don't like them or whatever the reason might be, and could not give me a valid reason. Should I drop them? Should I drop my friend?
Now listen to what Wanza said. What Wanza said, the girl, she went ghost when she decided to marry him and not listen to her. So it was like the girl, it seemed like her friend was her friend as long as she was able to rock it out with her. But when she met, sometimes that happened too. You are good with somebody, but then when someone comes along and your life can become, is gonna change, then that happens, then that friend has an issue with you, or all of a sudden your new mate. Cola, my daughter is on. Lord have mercy. Cola Roberts, that's my baby. Good to see her. She said, sometimes your husband notices something about your friend and don't want you associated with that type of person. See, some friends are okay when you're single, but they're different when you're in a relationship. If they're gonna cause forth and cause issue. But then
That is
Kim
true.
Overseer answered, The question is, why is your spouse uncomfortable? Is he or she controlling, or does he or she have legitimate reasons? Why can't your spouse, you, and a friend all be friends? That's what we're at with this. That's one of the, because what happens is there are a lot of friends who are, people are saying my friends ruined my marriage, or the other person, when the marriage is ruined, they're saying, oh, because of my friend, oh, it was because of her friend. I don't know if that's really true. I think people use friends as a scapegoat when it comes down to marriages falling apart sometimes. Montrese says, I can say, I always said my friends are my friends, and that's it. Maybe that's why I'm not married now. I now have a different perspective. Ooh, interesting. Cynthia says,
Wait. What's that perspective? Wait,
meaning that
Martrice, can you
Montrese,
elaborate?
Montrese, I believe what she's saying, that she feel like she's not married because her friends, it was more about her friends over um, relationship, I guess. This is what I'm
Oh,
gathering.
her relationship. Oh, okay.
Like, it was like,
Okay.
friends
You
is
have
my
to have balance. No matter what you're doing, you have to have balance. Yes, you have to have balance.
Cynthia says it depends sometimes, depending on where you meet and how you meet, can be a friend, and then you get in a relationship with the man. He knows how they carry their self when he met you, and they don't feel comfortable with that person. Okay. Kama says, I think if your spouse senses something about your friends, then you should trust your spouse enough to know that he or she has your best interest at heart. Exactly, that's true. But in cases where, what was it said? That's so much. You just hit it. I like what Kamen says too. You should trust your spouse enough to know that he or she has your best interest at heart. But sometimes your spouse can have your best interest at heart, but there's a but there. Well, let me see what
And
Cole
be
said.
wrong. They can be
Uh,
wrong,
Cole said,
but
I think
they're
naturally you
wrong.
begin to want to be around people whose life and lifestyle matches yours. True. You feel like, but this is the thing. If but you're friends, you've been through the muck and the miry together. So if this is my friend through my rough time, certainly this should be my friend during my good times. So why would I want to disassociate simply because now there's someone here and I have an opportunity? Is that the right way to do that? Wanda says, this friend was the best. To this day, people are shocked that we are not in communication. This was not a fly by night friend, but hubby was right. Wow.
Hmm.
That's deep, Wanda. That's real deep. She said, I could have chose my friend over my fiance, and I'm glad I didn't. Now, I'm not going to do that. I'm sorry. I'm not going to. I'm not. I'm not saying, excuse me. I'm cracking up. What I'm saying is, it has to be understood. But I know this. I believe that my husband, um, to be, or whatever, he will value me and my judgment. And even if he sends something, he can bring it to me and I will reevaluate. I will be on the lookout. But then, you know, and then again, I don't know. I just think that it's just the way how it should be. There's a way it can be handled. Monchi said, my perspective is now, I won't be carrying out my days with my friends. I won't be starting life and ending life with my friends. I won't go to my friends. I have a spouse to make life decisions. Well, of course. Of course. See, I think the part is that I think one of the things that I'm trying to bring out when it comes to friends is that I think we're forgetting. Um, okay, you choose your friends. Okay, wait. Okay, hold on. Cola's saying something. It's not dropping your friend or disassociating yourself, but your friend should understand that your dynamic is not exactly the same. Shalonda says, I believe if you truly love your husband or wife, you'll make it work. Your friendship. See, I'm like, I believe my husband should value me enough. Like pretty much what Shalonda's almost saying. He should value me enough to know that I have integrity and that what does that means what do you think about me if you think that I have those types of friends that you can't be around or can't be that I have to pull from? Like, what is that saying about me? What does that say about me? Does that what does that say about you know? Oh, hello, Chantel, Dwayne. Oh, good to see you, Dwayne. He said you have to draw space between your marriage and friendships. It's two different levels. Friends is friends. Your husband or your wife is your friend, your lover and companion. You have to draw lines between marriages and friendships. That is absolutely true. But what we're saying is, so there should never be an overlap. Susan, you want to talk, Susan? Okay, what's that cold over her head?
Girl,
Okay.
oh, now I can hear you. I was blank for a moment.
Monchi said, you choose your friends, yes, but are you saying because you choose your friends that if your husband doesn't agree with this friend, you still keep them? You chose your husband as well. What does that say about you that you don't trust his judgment? Hmm. It's not that I don't trust his judgment. Why don't he trust mine?
Exactly, exactly. Because that's a
Why
two-way.
how are you gonna come in and not trust that if I've been with friends with these persons for all of these years? I ought to know there's something I know to the level. I know to the extent. And I'm not saying that he can't tell me, but overall, there ought to be a certain level of understanding and knowing that, okay, you're my wife, this is your friend, they've been your friends, male or female, and he's coming in. Remember, my husband is coming into my world as I'm coming into his.
Exactly.
This was my world. And so now I have to turn my world around because you're here, because you're something that you believe, and then I'm telling it. I don't know. I'm just listen. This is just conversation, y'all. Just
Yes, it
conversation
is. It is.
because I know
I
what I'm saying. People think.
but I think it should be like this. If your friend, as we say, is like your family, just like you have to accept my family, my sister, my brother, my mother, my father, as I have to do yours, why can't you accept my friend?
Kama says, I don't think it says anything about you. I think sometimes we overlook certain things in our friends and other people see those things. Now
That
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 could,
could that could
now,
be true.
now
That could be true.
that could be true. So that's
Mm-hmm.
another thing. So maybe that spouse is seeing that other thing that we overlook, but he can
Mm-hmm.
see the detriments. And okay, so that's fair game. Um,
That's fair because see, like we are, say Tracy and I, and some of us who are in this chat, we're spiritual beings. So if my spouse or the guy who I decide we want to have a long-term relationship, fiance or whatever that relationship might be, now if I meet these friends, whether it be male or female, and I discern by the Spirit of God that these people are not for him, whether that be male or female, yes, I will let him know. And I would give reasons why. I wouldn't just say, I don't want them to be a friend. No, it can't be that. I would give reasons why. I would say, thus said the Lord, this is what I see, this, that, and the other. I would leave it up to him if whatever's going on does not affect me and our relationship. Because sometimes you do have these friends where they are not good for you, and that person that my significant other, they don't see it, it hasn't affected me, but I can see that it's affecting him in some type of way, then I will let them know. But I wouldn't say, just cut that person off. No, I have valid reason. How about that?
All right.
What you think about that?
That's good. That's good. But we got some other questions here that I missed, so I'm going to get to them in a minute. Okay, I think I did that one. We was at Kamer, right? Right. So we were going to Chantel. Okay, Chantel says, I also believe that my spouse should know my friends and vice versa. There are friends that I have had for years, not someone who just popped up. That's that I think that's one of the things that it's like, I mean, I can understand newbies, but when someone's been your friend for many, many years,
Exactly.
and then to
Hmm.
have your spouse come and tell you, and you know what the experiences was. Not saying uh, that he's wrong, but it weighs on you. Cola says it's just like when you become a parent. You begin to notice things that you didn't before about your friends because you have a different perspective on what and who you want in your life.
Did Mama say that?
Uh-uh, uh-uh. Ones that said a spouse brings a different dynamic. It's covenant. You're now open to a different attack as yes. Okay. Monchi said
Hmm.
very true, but if he has a friend that you don't agree with, wouldn't you want him to respect your feelings regarding this friend?
Yes, and that's exactly what I was saying. I would come to him and let him know what I see, but I would leave it up to him to, dismiss this person or not based on what I said or what I didn't say. I would let him know how I felt and why, and it would be a valid reason. And sometimes I do have to say, well, thus said the Lord, just to sometimes reinforce to, let that person know. And yes, I would leave it up to him. But as long as the person is not, because some relationships or friendships can be very volatile. If it's not like that, then I'll just leave it up to him. I would pick and choose the times that, say, if we had to all spend together, I would pick and choose those times where I had to actually be involved. But yes, I would definitely consider his feelings because I know how I would feel if that was my best friend and I had to like basically dismiss them.
Wow. I like what Wanda's saying here. She says that's the same thing. You are not accepting his judgment or what he sees. Marriage brings on a different life. The friend may no longer fit in this new world of yours. Sometimes that could be the reason why the spouse may not want this particular friend because he's like, this represents your world before me. This you was in your singleness. Now that you're married, the dynamics of this friend is still heavy on the singleness. So what is she gonna attribute it to our where's the where's the you know what I'm saying? Where does it mesh? Where does it mesh in at? Not saying you can't be friends with people who are single when you're married, but there's a certain type of it's a different flow. It changes. The dynamics change. It will change. We're gonna change too, because we're gonna get married.
Oh,
So I
okay
mean,
then.
you don't
Well,
think we're gonna
I
change?
don't. Yes, of course, some things are going to change. Yes, yes. We
Yeah,
can't have those 5 hour calls like we like to.
right.
We can't just hang out whenever we want to because we always have to consider our spouses. But I mean, I've had relationships with people of the same sex or the same sex or different sexes, good friendships. And when they got married or got into relationship, yes, somewhat the dynamics of our relationship changed some. I think, yeah, it was one who cut me off, and I was like, "Why you cut me off?" Oh, I said that last time.
Right.
I didn't even get invited to the wedding, and I was so upset about that. I was like, "Why not? We were just friends." And I did end up meeting the wife and all of that, but that was it. I didn't hold no ill feelings, but I just thought that that was like, wow, but
And
to each
y'all
his
was good
own.
friends. Y'all was very good friends.
We was very good. We was very good friends, but when he got married, um, I don't know what he told her or how she felt, but I don't know. I guess
And
maybe
it could be
I
also
can't even
the
say.
other, the spouse could be intimidated. I mean, it can be intimidated by you. You know, sometimes especially if you're friends with a guy, and then he has a, you know,
It could
it's a whole
be.
lot that goes
Is
there.
it, it could be a whole lot of different things. Yeah, it could have been him. He knows how she is, so to prevent
Right.
anything, he
So
just
to
severed the
avoid, right,
relationship. Yeah, to
right.
avoid any complications.
Which
And
is
I
what
mean,
Chantel is saying. We must also protect our covenants with our spouses. Not every friend is happy when the dynamics change, and that's true.
that is
It is so
that is
true.
definitely true.
Some friends do not like the dynamics when it's changed.
I know that's right.
Right. She wants to say,
hmm
why not? It's marriage, not singleness. Yeah, it will change when you Cynthia says if it's a friend from way back, your spouse should already know this friend. At no point should this take place in new relationships. Exactly. 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 Oh, this is you guys are really bringing it. You're really bringing it. Let me see. I missed some.
Oh, what affects my husband affects me?
Wait, we give our
Something.
friends so much leverage that we don't even notice. Montrese said, "Your husband is your new world. You give up the things that brings chaos in your home." Well, of course, you don't allow anything to disturb your home. Of course, your home, your marriage is your priority. Your family, your spouse, that's your priority. But we're speaking. I'm just speaking of when it come down to your friends. That is it fair? Is it really fair to just feel that, because now that I have this spouse or my spouse don't agree, is that really, is that really, is that really right? Is that really right? What she said, give up being single, right? Boom, no matter how close they are. What she said, right? You give up. Oh, I like that. That's she hit it.
You give out
Wait,
I for we.
yeah, it's true.
But
It's
I'm just
true.
saying, like, why can't we all be friends? Why can't we all be friends? Like, it's no problem. We can
Oh,
all be friends.
oh, peoples, good to see you. New tea timer. Hi, how are you? Glad to see you. You also welcome her. Say hi to China. Yes, good to see you. Right. Toxicity will affect you if you're married. What affects my husband affects me. That's what Kamer says. You believe that, Susan?
Yes, it does. It does. I must admit, it does. Whatever affects him, it should affect you. It should. The good and the bad. But I mean, there's gonna be some things that
Oh, wait a minute. I
what,
don't mean to cut you off.
what
Cynthia, read what Cynthia said. I see. Now
says
that's what I'm
me
talking
and
about.
my ex were friends, and then he got into a relationship, and she was uncomfortable with the relationship, and I myself stepped back, and he was in agreement with, but to keep the peace because of her insecurities, I did step back. Yes, I have done that too as well. Yes. You're a
And
good friend,
that's what it's
Cynthia.
supposed to be, though.
Yes, yes. Because sometimes people don't realize when they're overstepping their bounds. So if they don't realize it, sometimes you know what, you could be the better person and do it for them since they don't realize. But you're right. If you felt that this was messing up his good relationship, I wouldn't want to be in the middle of someone's argument.
Look what Wanza wrote.
What? Wait, wait. Is somebody putting out business out in the street? Hold up. Wait, let me see this. Red
Wanza
but
said,
was one.
Tracy and Susan. You were friends with Arthur when I got married. Y'all still friends, right?
Uh-huh.
But there was one that
Uh-huh.
didn't make the cut. Just saying, here you're made out. They may be right. I know who she talk about. I'll tell you about it later. One didn't make the cut.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Oh
Okay,
my
we'll
God.
we'll
I
discuss
got
that
happy
later,
that one.
Tracy. Okay.
Huh? What'd you say? What'd you say?
I said we'll talk about that later, Tracy.
Oh,
Huh.
oh, oh.
Tracy,
She said, hit
it
on the
said
head.
Tracy, you hit it on the head.
My boy, she said, my boy said it's important to marry your best friend. I understand that. Montrese says also,
Yes,
if you
that
marry
yeah,
your
it's
best
true.
friend, you don't
Mm-hmm.
have these issues. True. Well, no, you don't. But oh,
No,
okay,
you can still yes, you can. You can marry your best friend and still has those issues. Yes, you can.
okay,
That
wait.
and some others.
Oh, come on, let's welcome Sharon Victorious. Welcome, Sharon. Thank you for being part of Tea Time with Tracy. Yes, you all say hello to Sharon. She says, I have a friend we dated when I was in my 20s. We are the best of friends, and I got invited to the wedding. Boom. It can happen. It can
Can
happen.
you
It can happen. Welcome, Sharon. Thank you for joining us on Tea Time with Tracy. For all your newcomers that are coming on, let me explain to you what Tea Time with Tracy is all about. Tea Time with Tracy, where you know all the times when people say let's spill a tea, that's something negative. That's not what we do here. What we do here, we come together to encourage one another, to assist each other, admire each other, and build each other up. It's all about building relationships, be it your marriage, mother and daughters, father and son, sister and brother, any types of relationship, friendships, marriages. We're all about unity, being strengthened and coming together. We are better together. And that's what this is all about. And so what we do, we come here, we have these discussions, and everyone get a chance to express themselves and give their opinion because there's no big I's and there's no little U's, but we're all together and our opinions matter. And somebody will be blessed by the things that are being stated here. And I always try to read your comments. If you have the time to write it, then I have the time to read it. So thank you for coming in and tuning in with Tea Time with Tracy. Let us continue in the discussion. Michelle, good to see you. Dwayne, yes, and Dwayne is another awesome new one. Thank you, Dwayne, for time tuning in. Dwayne said, "Is that friend toxic to your marriage? A lot of friends don't have your best interest, especially if your friend not married. You can't live a single lifestyle. When you have taking vows of commitment to each other, if you're not being abused physically, mentally, emotionally, or spiritually, a friend shouldn't have no power over your marriage." Boom. True.
Mm,
True. Under no
that's true.
circumstances.
That is true. Mm-hmm.
True.
That is definitely I agree with that.
Shalonda says,
Mm-hmm.
so true. When you marry, it changes everything, and those vows shouldn't be taken lightly. Your friends should be understanding and respectful enough to know that some things you can't do as much or anymore. That's exactly what we are saying.
That's
Exactly.
true. That's what we're saying. We agree with that. But this is where we disagree. Or we have this yeah, we're a little on the fence because if you're married or in a relationship, should you get rid of your bestie that you've had for over 20 something odd years to and you're starting a new relationship with someone else who you've known 1 to 5 years? Should you get rid of that bestie just because the new person in your life does not agree? I don't think that's fair. Only way I think it's agreeable is if that friendship is toxic to yourself or the other person. That's the only way I agree with that. I don't see why you have to get rid of the other person, whether it's a woman or a man. It doesn't matter. That's how I feel. Because I mean, friends will be there forever and not to say that your relationship is going to end, but when you're in your relationship with whomever, you have periods of when you could still be in that relationship and it's a little shaky or whatever. Who do you go to? Who you talk to? Your friend.
Ooh,
But
child,
if
we
your
got
friend is gone, to
it's
advise,
some it's some comments coming up here. Oh my goodness. Well, Chantel says we can't all
oh,
be
what is
friends.
that?
No, Chantel said we all can't be friends because some people don't know their role. Now that's true. sometimes people
But that's
over,
true. Okay.
overstep
Mm-hmm.
themselves. And that's why Donald says only
Right.
narcissists would think it's okay to stay connected. That's what he says. Sharon says, I'm not new, I'm family. Okay, Sharon. Um, Chantel says also, when you are one with your spouse, their input is more important than anything. They can forewarn you about a lot of friends, and those who have agendas take heed. That's good. That's good. That's good. Sharon, you love tea time with Tracy. Oh, thank you, Sharon. Montrese says, I think a lot of times the issue is people bring their single friends in their marriage. Most times the spouse doesn't like the friend because the friend has so much influence over how you are with them. Example, their opinions. Oh,
Mm.
oh. See, now I'm not saying now my friends ain't gonna,
That.
your friends shouldn't have that kind of power. Now I'm not saying they should have that kind of power. You know, they really shouldn't. You know that your friends should have you married while your single friend having that kind of power in your, and why should they even want to go there as a single friend knowing I'm single, knowing you're married? I shouldn't have a whole lot to say to you in relation when it comes to your relationship. That's my personal, because we're on two different playing fields. Not saying that you don't have an answer. They're not saying, I don't even know if I should bring issues to you, because I'm kind of thinking. I remember I heard someone, an older woman, said, "When you marry, you don't have no single friends." She said, "You don't have single friends. You don't have no friends when you're married because of." That's what she told me.
Really?
Let me tell you
Mm.
what she said. She said the reason why she said that was she said, and this is years ago when I was married years ago. She said, "You ain't got no friends and you married." I said, "Oh, yes, I do." She said, "No, you don't." She said, "Because, you know, let me tell you something. When you marry, you ain't got no friends because your friends, they're going to associate their marriage to yours. They're going to compare their marriage to yours. And if there's something going on in yours, they're going to, there's going to be a comparison." Then she also told me one time, she said, and if they're single, they're only sticking around you waiting for something to happen because they know that you have somebody to be with them. Kind of it's silly, but I was real young. I got married at 21, so But when I thought about it, I was like, I didn't have a lot of friends, but the friends I did have, they were also married, so I didn't quite understand that. Because you shouldn't. I don't think that you should tell your. I don't think married people should talk to their single friends about their marital issues. That's my personal. I don't think if I was married, I don't think I would tell you my personal my issues with my husband. I don't think I would do
Mm.
that, even if I know that you may have, because I just feel like it's like some things you got to be in. Some It's like not saying that like because a person don't have a kid didn't have a child that they can't read. That's not what that is. It's just there's certain things you got to be in it. I think to it's certain things I feel you got to be in it. But we got a lot of comments coming quick, so I'm just gonna run them up there real quick, y'all. Montrese agreed with Donald. Sharon responds, "Hey, my love." Cameron said, "I would let to talk to even my friends about issues in my marriage if I were having any issues." Hey, there go one of my friends right there, Lanzel. Would not. Okay, she said would not, because you're telling them about your marital issues. Montrese says, "I always say single people can't give marital advice." Ooh, I don't know about that. Let me just say this. I was married, I was divorced, I was engaged, and I plan on getting married again. So I think I can speak about all of them because I've been all of them. Ah, I have been all. Okay. So, so Sharon says, "I agree, Miss Tracy. Single free shouldn't have the kind of power. Married people should not go to single friends for advice. Opinions, everyone has one, but not advice." Exactly. Shalonda says, "Soon as something happened, they waited to mend his broken heart." when I was saying that sometimes, that happens, that people like, you come out like they're a friend, but then something happened. Next thing you know, they're there soothing them. There's a difference between opinion and wise counsel. Oh, yes. Yes, Chantel. Major difference. Major, major difference. There is a difference between an opinion and wise counsel, you know, and wisdom will always rule. Is there anyone who would like to come on? I need someone to, I'm trying to see. Anybody else like to come on? And so that you can speak your mind, I will send you the link. Oh, we're almost over. Oh, I'm sorry. It's almost over. It's almost over. I thank you all for joining in on tonight. Um, some of the people who were, I'm surprised that people didn't show up that were inboxing me asking for a part two. They done missed it. That's because I couldn't bring them in either. But anyway, I am so glad you who did decide to come in came in, and I appreciate each and every one of you. Tanisha, yes. How are you? We were having a part two. We were having a part two. You still got some really great oh, you at work. Okay. Tanisha is also a major fan of Tea Time with Tracy. I love you all. You guys just warm my heart. I can't go on Facebook on my phone to see you all. But I thank you for tuning in. Chantel said, let's have a part three. This is my, oh my goodness. I have to. I may pick it up at another time. I may pick it up another time. We may come another route with this. But tea time with Tracy, this is what we do. Like I said, everybody's opinion matter. There's no law 100%. Everybody's opinion matter. You are valuable here. You are valuable here at Tea Time with Tracy. Thank you, Shalonda. Please be sure to follow us. Please, 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 please. Um, oh, Sharon said, let's talk about soul ties next. Ooh, I love when y'all give me ideas. Y'all give me, Michelle Jenkins can tell you, they give me ideas. I have administrators. Montrese is my administrator. My other administrator, Alicia Cares. Um, we come together. We have topics, and
Ooh,
sometimes things
yes, that
happen,
sounds
but
great.
the soul ties that sound like something that we just might tune in to do. China says, I love this story. I love this story. I missed previous conversation. I'll be looking out for more. Listen, let me tell you all how y'all can get my other discussions. You'll need to go to my YouTube page. On my YouTube page, all of my tea times that I've done over the year, you will be able to find. You can see how I develop, how I grow, how I've been growing. Certainly, YouTube Tea Time with Tracy is on a YouTube page. You can just go there, and you will be able to pick up on the previous tea time discussions that we've had. Some of them you will see what the title were, and some of them you just have to watch, and then you'll get to see what the title is, because those are the good ones. Surprises. I want to grab you in to see that. But I thank you all for really coming in, and do know tea time. Let me see. I want to acknowledge. Thank you, and Chantel. You all listen again. Tea time with Tracy is really, really, again, it's all about us coming together, and we're all about building relationships and building unbreakable bonds. Build your bonds with your friends, and I believe if you have a spouse, you have a spouse, and it's good. Yes, you take their advice. It's good you listen, but you also should know your friends, and you should know the value of your friends, and you should be able to. Not saying they don't never put anything over your marriage. Your marriage is priority. Marriage is priority. Your marriage come first, baby. I don't care. No, they come first. They come before mama, daddy, sister, brother, your husband, and your wife. Y'all are numero uno. No one comes above that except God. But that's where that goes. You have to understand that's the rule of them, and that's biblical, and marriage is of God. But let me just, I gotta sign off now. But before I do, as I always say, first let me say thank you to my guest, my special guest Susan Green, my dearest friend. I appreciate you for tuning in and coming in with me on tonight. Um, of course, we're gonna have some more times on different topics, but I know that this thing with friends, You are the one. You
Thanks
are
for
the
having
one.
me.
And thank you for coming. If you want to say something, you can say something to them before you sign off. You can say something too.
We are. Yes. Well, thank you all for having me. I pray that your relationships with your spouses. Oh, yes. Okay. I said, I thank you for having me. I thank you for having me. And I pray that your relationship with your spouses are as solid as your friendships. That's all I'm going to say.
That's a good one. Okay. I see you, Susan. I see you. Okay, let me get back to my fans. Thank you, Sue. I love you, girlie.
Love you too, girl.
All right.
Bye bye.
Okay. So listen up. Thank you. So there we have it with Tea Time with Tracey. Again, we did the topic on your on it's about your friend. Just give you a little quick tidbit before I sign off. Susan Green and I, like I said initially, her and I, we've been friends for over 20 some odd years, and we're presently right now we're single, but we are, and she's in a relationship. Well, the thing about it is that you value your friendships. There's some friends that we have quality friends. You have friends of value, but you have to be prepared for it if that spouse comes along, and if he feels that he believed that that friendship is not something that's going to be conducive to your relationship or may affect your creating an unbreakable bond. You might want to step back and reevaluate that friendship, and also reevaluate or understand where your mate is coming from. You have to take in consideration where they are at with that. So I just want to say that. But as you all know, thank you all for tuning in. I really appreciate each and every one of you. As you all know, this is a Christian based forum, and I never go off without compelling men and women to give their life to Christ. Out of all the relationships that I've had, this is the best one I have, and that is my relationship with Christ. You don't get one better than that. There's nothing better than having a relationship with Christ. So I beseech you, my brothers and sisters, if you have not accepted Jesus Christ as your personal Savior, you might want to do it today. And the Bible tells us all you have to do is confess with your mouth and believe in your heart that Jesus died and God rose him on the third day, you shall be saved. That's simple as that. All you have to do is believe. Accept him. Accept him today. Know that Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life. No man come unto the Father except by him. He is the only way to make it. And I'm going to tell you, when it comes down to relationships, he's the way. He's the true one. The best relationship you could ever have is a God relationship. That's the best relationship you can have. And so I ask you today, all you got to do is commit, confess, accept Christ as your Lord and Savior today. All you have to do is just say, Lord Jesus, come into my heart. Forgive me of all my sins. I repent. I accept you as Lord over my life. I believe that you died for me. I believe that you rose for me. I believe that God rose you up just so that I can be redeemed back. And so, Father, I ask you, Jesus, I accept you today in my life. I accept you to be Lord over my life. I accept you to be Savior of my life. And I ask that you create in me a clean heart and renew the right spirit within me, and show me how to live this life that I can live with you and being connected with you and being in good relationship with you. And once you do that, that's it. Guess what? You're saved. And guess what? The heaven is rejoicing. And as the heaven rejoice, guess what? We here at Tea Time with Tracey also rejoicing with you for your salvation. So I just want you to know that I appreciate each and every one of you. Next week I have a major segment taking place. It's called Love for My Brothers. We're deviating from this type of friendship thing, and we're going to talk about my relationship with my brother. Um, with my brothers, I have 7 men who are going to be on here. Some are friends, some of my leaders in the ministry, but they are really men of wisdom, inspirational, relatable, reachable. And if you are women out there and you don't have any male figures in your life, you might want to come onto this segment and join in and hear from them. I'm telling you, they're reachable. They can be a help to you. They can be a help to you. They're some of them are married, grandparents. They're magnificent, and I really don't want you to miss it. So mark your calendars and be with me on next week. We're gonna have an awesome time with these 7 awesome men who's gonna come because this is my love for them, my love for my brothers, and I want to have them on the platform. So I hope you be with you on next week. So until then, have a good night. Thank you all, and God bless you. Signing off, Tea Time with Tracey. Have a good night.